Students, here I am with a very important and interesting chapter that you will again get in standard 9 and 10 and 11 also. Means what are living and non-living things. So I hope it is very good for you all to clear this concept, to better understand this concept with me. And so I am here with the living and non-living chapter. Non-living things and living things. Both are present around us. Human beings can recognize non-living things with living things, but sometimes we get confused with this topic because we know there are some characteristics, कुछ गुण हैं जो living things में पाए जाते हैं, but sometimes we see that non-living things also show this type of characteristic. So if you will see my video very nicely, concentrate yourself, then you will find the difference. What is the difference between living and non-living things characteristics? Apart from this, that many non-living things also show some characteristics which are very familiar to the living things character, but they are not living things. So without wasting our time, come and start with me the characteristics of living things. Living things has some characteristic that first we know all living things have cellular structure, means all living things are made up of cell, either plant or animals. Both are made up of cell. So this is their first characteristic, cellular structure. Their body is made up of cell. According to the number of cell, animals and plants, means living organisms, are there of two types. Means if any organism has only one cell, like amoeba, it is called as unicellular, and if more than one cell is present, then the organism is called multicellular. Second is nutrition. Nutrition means portion, means we eat. All living things need some substances that is called as food for their energy and growth and for remaining healthy. So nutrition is again, as we all know, living organisms include plants and animals both. So you all know plants are autotroph. They can make their own food in presence of sunlight. So there are two types of nutrition. First is autotrophic, means organisms which can synthesize their own food are called autotrophs. Their nutrition will be called as autotrophic nutrition. And the animals and some other types of plants which do not have chlorophyll, they have heterotrophic nutrition. Hetero means another, means they take their food from another source. So there are two sources of nutrition. Respiration is the process by which living organisms obtain energy with the breakdown of the food that they have taken in nutrition. So respiration is the different types of process. It is a long process. It takes place in two steps. First is breathing. Breathing means taking in air and giving out air. एक बार हवा हम सांस खींचते हैं, दूसरा हम फिर सांस छोड़ते हैं. That is another thing, that the composition of these two air is very different. Why? Because in breathing, when we take oxygen in air, oxygen is absorbed and carbon dioxide is added. that is again exhaled. So respiration means process of obtaining energy, and this respiration again takes place in plants and animals both. Plants respire separately, means plants all organs like root, stem, leaves, fruits, these all respire separately. There is no respiratory system or digestive system or excretory system in plants. Animals have respiration. For respiration they have a respiratory system. Very simple organisms means unicellular, or hydra means aquatic, very primitive animals, they have different mechanisms. We all know that respiration takes place in all animals through their different organs. As we know, animals live in water and land. So, water living animals or aquatic animals have mostly gills, and animals which live in air, breathe through air, has lungs or some other modes like spiracles in insects, and through the surface means skin. So these are, respiration is again of two types. There are different types of habitats of animals and plants. So some organisms do not need oxygen for their respiration. They can live without oxygen, and some need oxygen. They cannot breathe in absence of oxygen. So in presence of oxygen, if respiration takes, this is called aerobic respiration, and in absence of oxygen, if respiration takes place, it is called anaerobic respiration. Now growth. Growth is a very significant and very obvious characteristic of all living things. We all know that if a baby is born, he or she will grow very fastly, and one day he will attain the size and structure of an adult. So this growth also takes place in plants. When we sow a seed, this seed will germinate and one seedling will grow, then it will grow into a tree. So growth in living things is the characteristic of all living organisms. All living organisms grow by the cell division, means the growth is internal. It takes place from the division of cell. And in plants, growth takes place throughout their life, but in animals, it stops at a certain age when it attains its size that is required. Reproduction is very common characteristic, and it is very essential characteristics, because all living organisms has to reproduce their own kind to increase the number of their species. This is a law of biology means biology is the science of living things. So why living things reproduce? To increase the number of their species, means their own kind. Reproduction again takes place in plants and animals in different ways. Plants, mostly higher plants, produce seed, means they reproduce through seeds, and some plants also reproduce asexually. Reproduction through seed is the sexual method, and by asexual method, many small or lower plants reproduces. Some higher plants also we can grow them, means more than one plant can be grown by the cutting of stem, grafting and so on. There are many methods. Animals reproduces by two ways. First is by laying eggs. As we see, many except mammals all reproduces through eggs. Invertebrates. Invertebrates have many different ways like budding, fragmentation, regeneration and so on. Excretion. Excretion means living things take food, means they take their nutrition. So in their body many waste substances or waste compounds are produced. These compounds are harmful if they are stopped in the body. So they are excreted, means they are thrown out of the body. As in plants, many excretory products like latex, gum, resins are produced, and these are again used by human beings for making new things. And in animals, excretion takes place as we means in human beings and in advanced animals, higher animals, we all have respiratory system. So through respiratory system we exhale carbon dioxide. Again we urinate, means urine is the second excretory product. Third one is the sweat. Through digestive system, undigested food is also thrown out of the body, but this is not in form of stool or feces, but this is not the excretory product as it do not contains any nitrogenous substance. Movement is also very essential characteristic of all living things, because by movement organisms search their food, they can protect themselves from their enemies, they search their shelter, and also many animals move for reproduction. Movement is also seen in plants. In plants, few parts like the stem always grow towards sunlight and root always grow towards the water and gravity, means inside the soil. Also we see in many plants that they if the plant is taken inside a dark room and one window will be opened, the stem will bend towards the light, means it shows that plant's stem always grow towards sunlight. Again we have seen sunflower. There are many plants in which flowers bloom with, means the relation is with photoperiod, means with the sunshine. Response to stimuli is a important characteristic that is not seen in non-living things, means we all living organisms have a sense. We can feel what is happening surrounding us, means they all respond towards the stimuli. Stimuli is the cause of which this response has been given. Lifespan is the characteristic, means as we all know living things are born. So when they are born, they have a definite time for their life cycle, means when they are born they grow and they reproduce and then they die. So during the time between birth and death is called life cycle, it is called lifespan, and the time in which the organism does so many works is called its life cycle. Students, these are the characteristics of living things, but there are two similarities between living and non-living things. First, all living So this is the first similarity. Second one, as we all know, scientists have proved that cell is also made up of small elements, compounds and so many biomolecules. So these biomolecules are again made up of atoms. So we can say that our body is also made up of atoms. But I am telling you that second similarity among living and non-living thing is both are made up of small structural units. Non-living things are directly made from the atoms and our body means living things body is made up of cell. Hope you all will like my video. Please subscribe and like the video. Don't only see the video, don't forget to like my video. Thank you.